welcome back to a brand new episode of NH Unscripted. I'm your host, Ray Dudley. Got my Nehru jacket on, my bell-bottom pants, and my platform shoes. Your job is to kick back on that waterbed. Hey, light some incense. Come on. Get that lava lamp going. We are coming to you from the Rowan and Martin Laugh-In Like Digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. There's a lot going on there. If you ever seen that show, Mother of God. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios in Concord. 101.9 FM for those beautiful souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. And if this old man can remember, tell you a little bit more about what's going on out there later. There are certain subjects in life that just make me smile. Food is one of them. And in particular, if you drive down a little bit. More on that topic, sourdough. I happen to be, I don't know how it popped up on my Instagram feed, but Sessa sourdough popped up, and I'm like, I think I drooled on myself a little for a few minutes, and I got to reach out to these folks. Gary Sessa is in the house. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing pretty good.
What a tale. What a tale. Give us a little bit of information about Sessa sourdough. Give us how you get into it. Did you expect it to get like it is?
No.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, no, we started almost 3 years ago now. So yesterday was my wedding anniversary.
Oh,
call out my wife.
Good job.
So when we decided, we were ready to start with a family,
yep.
About 2.5 years ago, one of the things my wife said was, we don't want processed foods, right? Everything's become so processed, added ingredients. When you buy it from the store, who knows what's in it?
No kidding.
So I started making some bread, regular, yeasted breads.
Yep.
Got a couple books and things like that. And I said, I'll try sourdough. So I took a couple weeks. I made a starter from scratch. It's bubbling all over the counter, but we got it going. And so once I started making some okay-looking loaves, my wife Tori started posting them on Instagram. And her friends were like, oh, those look great. Are you going to sell? I said, no, we're not selling. A couple more weeks of it, I said, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's see how it does. So we started with 5 loaves that first week. And one of her friends bought 2. One of my friends bought 3. And, I said, all right, we'll do 10 the next week. And then, we slowly built it up from there.
Oh, my God. So, for folks who don't, he kind of brushed over his starter bubbling thing. Sourdough is this crazy, crazy thing, right? Back during COVID, we're all like going out and trying to do our thing with making our own bread. And, I've done sourdough, but the starter's the kicker. How did you stumble upon your starter itself?
Yeah, so trial and error.
Yeah,
couple failures. Part of the beauty of making your own starter from scratch.
Yes.
Right. That's pure New Hampshire starter. Right. So it was made with, technically Vermont, right? King Arthur flour, but the water is, from the well, right? It is the New Hampshire air that brought the yeast into it because it's all natural. Definitely a lot of trial and error. I can say that, the first time I killed it a couple days in a row. But we finally got to a point where it was bubbling, and, my wife kind of hated that because it was bubbling all over the counter.
Oh, I know that feeling.
So, we started with those small little mason jars, and, this morning I had 10 gallons of starter to make some bread.
10 gallons?
Yep.
10 gallons?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got one of those little pint jars.
Yeah.
I've tried more starters. So, what made you decide to do it that way? Rather than buy like a starter, which you can get online, what made you decide, just open air it?
Yeah, I think, I don't want to say it's a cheat sheet because, there's 200-year-old starters out there still living today, right? I kind of took it as a challenge, right? I think like everybody, YouTube, right, is your best friend. So, doing a lot of research that way and built it up, right? can call it my own, you know, kind of a
Definitely,
beauty of
yeah.
it, right? And I like to think that maybe it gives it a little bit of a different flavor than some other people's.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, when you say Sessa sourdough, it was made with that starter. My in-laws always joke because I gave them some. You know, we got the Sessa sourdough starter. Always joke about selling it on the black
so they're
market.
bragging on that.
Yeah.
Huh? What? So for folks who don't know anything about sourdough, talk a little bit about that process of creating a starter.
Yeah. So the starter is,
And why even need one?
Yeah. So sourdough bread is made with 3 ingredients: flour, water, and salt. That's it. A lot of other breads, obviously, you know, yeast, that nowadays isn't as natural as it used to be.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe they put sugars in it, other things, eggs, right? Stuff to help stabilize it. With sourdough, it's all about the process, and same thing with the starter. So for me, I make a loaf of bread. It takes 48 hours minimum.
Crazy.
So, you know, I started prep today for stuff I want to bake tomorrow afternoon. It started last night with feeding the starter.
Yeah.
And, you know, the way that it is it's actually a natural yeast. So
Right.
it's fermented, right? Like a beer gets the bubbles and the yeast in
Yep,
it,
yep.
or, you know, kimchi and things like that. So because of that natural yeast, your stomach can digest it a lot easier. And it also allows for me to have to put less things into it. So there's no added allergens, no wasted calories, right? And
Yeah. No wasted calories. No kidding. So when you first were starting out, and you're like, what kind of how do I ask this question? There are a dozen ways you can probably kind of create a starter or have it come into existence. What process did you use? How, like, you're feeding, take half out, you throw it away, that kind of thing? What?
Yeah. So, like, you start, a scale is always everybody's best friend.
Yeah.
So whenever people are, you know, asking us, you know, whether it's a friend or a family member, I say, well, the first thing is get rid of your measuring spoons, right? Get a scale, because that is a baker's best friend.
Great point.
So started out with, you know, everybody does the 1-1-1 ratio, which is 1 part of your yesterday's starter, 1 part water, and 1 part flour. To build it up really strong, right, you use some wheat flour, because wheat, naturally, it takes a little longer for the yeast in the starter to eat that. So it has to work a little harder. So
You mean
it
like
gets
a whole
stronger.
wheat flour?
A whole wheat
Yes,
flour, yes. So you do half whole wheat, half bread flour, because you need the protein in that, because that's what it feeds off of, is the gluten or the protein. And so, you know, you do that combo, right, kind of played around with it. So you'd go one day of pure bread flour, next you do a 50-50 mix, you go back and forth, and it would eventually get stronger, and you could see it, because it would go from, you know, maybe just touching 2 times its size to 3 times to overflowing out of the jar. So
Dang, man, that's impressive. I love making sourdough. I do. We don't do it enough anymore because, I mean, I have a jar of starter now. I kind of keep it in the fridge. I went with one of the, I'm trying the dry, where, you know, just kind of, you get the starter going, man, you throw it, but you feed, you just cover it with flour and put it in the fridge. I had one the other day. I had 2 jars. Opened one up. Did not look good. A lot of this black mold stuff in it. I'm like, I don't think I'll use that one.
might have been the hooch.
This was furry. It was not liquid.
Yeah. Oh, well, then that's probably gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't put that in my food. How many iterations did you go through? Because it's not an easy process figuring out. I mean, when you first start out, creating a starter, it's like a whole college education by the time you.
Yeah, it took me probably the 3rd actual iteration.
Dude,
it was
good.
alive. So yeah, it was a couple of, like, try for a few days, fail.
Yeah.
Try for a few days. You know, little things, right? Not putting a lid on it.
Mm-hmm.
Using a paper towel with a rubber band so it could breathe a little more. Just like things like that. It's a little bit of experimenting, because
It's a lot like experimenting.
me doing it in my house would be different than a person doing it in their house. Maybe we keep the temperatures different.
Yep.
You know, maybe your water is slightly different, right? The filtration system in my house does. So you really got to experiment with it, right? And, I mean, remember, it's kind of fun, right?
Yeah,
So it's if you
And
mess up, start again.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's alive. I mean, it's fascinating to, like, try to create it, set in a warm place, get up next day, and you're looking at it, trying to figure out what's going on there. 3 or 4 days later, right? You're hoping that it's doing its thing, and hang on, Gary, hang on. 1 block down. Where's the time go? Man, oh man. You are listening to NH Unscripted, Food Edition, by the way. We're coming to you from the hee-haw-like conditions of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on those transistor radios, baby. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Gary Sessa from Sessa Sourdough is in the house. Yeah, a couple more questions. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. We're coming in from the Green Acres Lake Digs of the WKXL studios in Kankakee. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on those sunny Walkmans. 101.9 FM for those beautiful souls of Manchester. Gary Sessa from Sessa Sourdough is in the house. Gary, first of all, congratulations. I went on Instagram the other day, and it said something about, you guys said, sold 350 loaves, baked 350 loaves. What?
Yeah, we do. It depends on the week. So we've done as many as 500 in a week.
You have?
Yeah, that was a holiday market and everything like that. That was a long...
Like a farmer's market kind of thing?
So we did at a place in Derry. They were doing a winter market, and we did that for the day. And we sold 275 loaves in about an hour and a half.
Oh, my God. Seriously, do you have any idea it was going to, like, explode like this?
No.
Yeah, I can't imagine you could. How could you envision that?
Yeah, we again, we started at 5 loaves, our first week. And, I made... I haven't finished what I have to prep today, but I made 64 loaves before I came here today. So.
Wow. Are they like sitting there rising now? They're waiting for Dad to go home and put them in the oven?
Yeah, so we've this year we actually built a small bakery in our basement. Mm-hmm. And so part of that, to create a better product, right, invested in a commercial spiral mixer. And so nice. It builds up the gluten a little stronger than I could by hand. And so the beauty is it does most of the work, but then I have to take it out. It needs to rise. I got to do a couple stretch and folds before, it fully rises for shape. So, yeah, I started that about 7 a.m. this morning. I usually start later in the afternoon, and then I'm up a lot later. So,
when you can I ask? So I have 2 questions I need to ask you. One is your current iteration. Do you lean heavily into the white flour? Is it a combination of whole wheat and white? Do you ever throw in something different, like an einkorn or rye or something like that?
So I've experimented with them.
Yeah. Einkorn's brutal.
Yeah. So I've done them personally. Mixed loaves, some wheat, right? Some spelt, things of that nature. Right now, the cost is what's a little prohibited. So finding those flours in bulk with a good quality has kind of put a little bit of, we've been exploring, adding it. But those flours, would raise the cost of a loaf of bread dramatically. So trying to balance that out. We only use King Arthur flour in our house because it's not bleached, it's not bromated. So like finding that is always, a little bit of a process.
Specifically their white bread flour?
So, yes, it's their bread flour. Okay. When you're buying it in bulk, they call it special patent flour. But it is the 13.9 or 13.7% protein.
Got you.
And making bread, protein's what matters because that's what your actual gluten comes from. And with sourdough, that's what the yeast eats to make the actual rise of the dough.
Right. Do you ever put any flavorings in any of them? I didn't see much out there in that way. Is there?
Yeah, so we don't do them all the time right now just because we're trying to get out the most quantity while maintaining quality. But yeah, no, we'll do, the jalapeno cheddar, cracked black pepper, rosemary. We've done olive loaves. For Mother's Day, I think we're going to do a French toast loaf.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, that'll have maple syrup, cinnamon or maple chips, and then a cinnamon sugar swirl.
You're killing me, man. You're killing me. Dude, I'm going to have to hop on that. Where can people, so before we get buried, where can people find what you sell? And
Yeah, so we always tell people start at our Instagram, right? So Sessa Sourdough on Instagram. That'll give you a link to what we use. It's called Hot Plate. They're a site that helps, some smaller businesses. The beauty of that is we set the menu. I would be scared if I just let it go and people just ordered. I'd probably be baking 24/7. So we generally set a menu we know we can handle, right? If we have ingredients for a certain thing, we'll set it for that, because sometimes some of the ingredients, maybe it's something that's out of season or something like that. So we just tested a new scone this morning.
Yep.
Right. So that's going to probably make its way onto the menu soon.
Okay. You were happy with the way it came out?
So I had one. I had one for breakfast.
You can be honest. It's just me and you.
Yeah. I had one for breakfast this morning, and I think this one's gonna probably do very well.
Why scones? Why is the next thing you want to do? Why was it scones?
So it actually started out with cookies. Right. So part of the starter process, right, is if you don't use it, you throw half of it away.
Yeah.
And so, it became, well, what can we do with this? So we started looking up discard recipes, which use the non-active starter.
Yep.
Right. So it still gives some of that gut health. It still gives some of that sourdough tang to something. So we experimented with the cookie recipe for a few weeks.
Yeah.
We changed a couple things from the original recipe, dropped the flours. We browned the butter, so it's got a nuttiness to it. So all of our cookies are always brown butter based. And so, we started trying to figure out things that we could do with it. So we've done coffee cake, brownies, cookies, scones. Those.
I need a bib. I need a bib. So how much time does that take then? I mean, sourdough bread, I love it. I love the whole thing about it. I just love the whole process. I love the smell. I love watching it rise. I love working with it. But that's a full-time job. Why pick up another thing like scones? I mean, I can't imagine when you're home-based. It's not like you got a official restaurant kind of thing going out there. You're out of your house. How did you think, we got some time here, we can do a little side scone?
Well, sometimes sourdough's a little fickle, and it wants to take a little extra time to rise, right? So, we just wanted to, expand a little bit. Yeah. Also, my wife, she's always been great at making sweets, and so I really handle all the breads and everything like that. So this kind of gave her her fingerprint on some of the stuff that we make, and she's had fun with it, and the customers really seem to love them. So.
Yeah. Did I see? So, man, there's so many great things about your business. First of all, the little hut. Can you tell me a little bit about that little hut there?
My sourdough shed?
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, we started when we did the 5 loaves, a folding table in our driveway, got a pop-up tent to cover it. We started there, and that lasted a few months. Then we got a very small little greenhouse, just 2x5, doors that opened in the front. Did that for about a year, and then we were at the point where we couldn't fit any more in that case. So we were having to split our days. People pick up in the morning, people pick up in the afternoons. It was becoming a lot. So I had saw on Facebook somebody else, or maybe Instagram, somebody who had built a greenhouse into a farm stand.
Yep.
So I went and I found the exact one at Costco, built a little deck so it's not on the ground, right? Up nice. And my wife has had a lot of fun,
It's beautiful.
Making it look like something more than I would be able to do.
They have that knack, do they not? It's so rustic. It's just typical what you would love for New England, little kind of a distribution shack shed thing to be. It really is gorgeous.
Thank you.
And when you see the pictures with all the breads lined up in there, Come on.
Yeah, we've had to add more and more things to it to put a little bit more room. So now it's got racks all around it because we were trying to max it out as much as we can, but we're starting to bust at the seams a bit.
So what happens then? You having discussions at home about growth? Yeah,
we talk about going brick and mortar at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Tori never wants to lose the sourdough shed. She said that's in our roots, so she's very adamant that stays part of our business. But yeah, we're talking about maybe doing some farmers markets this summer.
Yeah.
Right. We're very competitive on our site when we drop a menu, so we want people who maybe don't have that opportunity to be able to get some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're kind of exploring it all right now.
What's your number one seller?
Well, the cookies. I'd say the cookies are definitely our number one. It gets very, very aggressive when we put those on the menu. But yeah, those, the artisan loaves, so like your classic crusty loaf.
Are you doing all the cutting on those yourself? Do you do all the...
Yeah, when there's nice flowers on it, that was not me. That was Tori.
You could have just said it was you, brother. You could. I hear you. All right, hang on. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I know you're happy to be out of bed today. I know it. We're coming to you from the Car 54 Light Digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sunny Walkmans. By the way, we happen to be celebrating 80 years of exemplary community radio, just in case you didn't know. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Gary Sessa from Sessa Sourdoughs in the house. Yeah, we'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. My God, we are one toke over the line. Sweet Jesus. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your Sunny Walkmans. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Gary Sessa's in the house. He has graced us. Gary, so I was asking you kind of in between segments here about what might be coming down the line. So you have cookies, you have scones, you have bread. What else do you see happening there?
Yeah, we do bagels. People have been...
Successfully?
Oh, they sell us out quick.
Dang, man. What a business. I mean, really... All right, go.
But, it's part of the problem is some of the people who come to us, right, they're like, oh, I want to buy at a store, but I don't know what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, or my child has an allergy to this or that. So, we try not to put anything extra in it. So it's New Hampshire maple syrup, flour, water, salt, and that's it. Do English muffins.
They're tough, aren't they?
They are. It's just the quantity. So, you got to griddle them first, then you bake them. So trying to get those back on the menu, but also trying to make it so that more than 5 people can get them. So.
Well, bagels aren't that easy either, right? You have to kind of boil them, don't you?
Yeah, so you got to make the dough. Yeah. You got to let it rise. Yep. You got to weigh them, shape them. So you got to make them in bagels. Then they cold ferment because it's sourdough. So we always want to do a cold ferment. Then we let them rise again. Then boiled, topped, baked.
I don't know how you find the time. You're already doing 350 loaves. Was it 350 loaves or 350 customers? How many customers do you think you have?
Yeah, so when we drop a menu, it's usually 350 customers on the site.
It is?
Yeah. It varies.
Man, that's impressive. Come on.
3,000 people get the text. So
they do?
Yeah.
All right. You wouldn't want them all signed up at one time, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, the traffic around your house must be crazy.
It's actually not bad. So the way that we do the pickups, we usually never see more than 5 or 6 people at a time.
Seriously?
Yeah. We give them a few hours. So, like, there's a pickup today.
Yeah.
It's from 2 to 7. So you'll have a handful of people who will come throughout the whole time. And, like I said, usually not more than 5 or 6 people at a time. It kind of works out.
Dang.
Yeah.
I had this vision of like a cop out there trying to flag people in. You in, I'll pull over, get over there.
Well, that's why we did the pre-sale model.
Got you.
Because, there's other people doing the same thing, right? Like I know of somebody in Massachusetts who was doing it, and they didn't do it that way. And, they had problems with stuff disappearing without getting the money, and their neighbors creating a problem because they had a line because people wanted to get their product.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Whenever you order something from our site, it's going to be in that case, and, it'll be there for you.
Let's talk a little about the business side for a second. How did you come up with the pricing structure? Because it's important, right? You want to sell at a decent price, you got to make some money off it too, right?
Yeah, so we used, there was a food cost calculator, right?
Okay.
So what we buy a product for, how many grams of everything we use.
Yep.
And then you got to take into cost electricity, right? And then packaging. So that's been, over the last few years, things go up and down, mostly up.
Yeah, no kidding.
So we did have to raise, the cost of flour went up, so we did have to raise, the cost of a loaf of bread a little bit. But we try and stay relatively competitive. And I think sometimes people don't realize, they say, oh, it's $12 for a loaf of bread. Well, it's a almost 2.5-pound loaf of bread. So we do 1,000 grams for a loaf. So it's well, if you look at the one at Market Basket, you're paying $5.99, but it's a 1-pound loaf.
Yeah.
So you're actually paying more for something that's not real. So.
Yeah. I love your logo, by the way.
Yeah, it's my face.
It's cool. It's very recognizable. I mean, when you see it and it pops up on Instagram, I see it. I know it instantly. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was actually in the store yesterday, and a woman walked by. I was wearing a quarter zip, and she goes, "I love your bread."
That never hurts, huh?
Yeah.
I bet you've got great word of mouth.
Yeah, that's, really, majority of it. So, we've never advertised anywhere. We've never posted. So, my, wife, Tori, she does the social media. We call her the, our social media intern sometimes. But no, she's done a great job with that stuff. And, we've been lucky that there's a few people who are kind of influencers local to us. The Roaming Foodie was one who, shared us. We shared some bread with him, and he shared it with his community, and that helped grow us. And, it's been a very fortunate thing. A lot of the people are like, oh, my friend and family told me about you. I was finally able to get a loaf.
It's a great way to go about it, man. Word of mouth, can't beat it.
Yeah.
It's cheap advertising.
That it is. Plus, hopefully it means that they've already tried us. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Do you have a cheese one? Do you have one that has a cheddar or a jalapeno or something in there? Or?
Yeah, so we've done jalapeno cheddar.
Yeah.
I've done Italian herb and parm. So yeah, we've done. We used to do a lot more flavors. We still do them. It's just there's so many people who are looking for bread.
Yeah.
We try and do what we can do the biggest bulk of, right? Because when you add flavors and things like that, it changes. You have to clean in between. So, we don't want the flavor of a jalapeno cheddar getting into a plain loaf.
Great point.
So, we do it, but we have to make sure that we're planning for it because it's going to increase the prep time and the cleaning in between everything. So we always want to make sure that we're doing it responsibly so we can try and create, the quality product people want, but also the amount that we can hopefully help the most people.
I'm going to ask, this is a stupid question I'm asking anyway. You proud of where you guys are now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Were you always an entrepreneur?
No, not really.
Really?
Yeah, no,
That's a big thing, man, to go from working for someone else to yourself.
Well, I still do work for someone else. This is still my side gig.
Wow.
Yeah.
350 to 500 loaves, and it's a side gig.
Well, that's not every week. This week it's only 200.
Only, he says.
Yeah, no. Oh, actually, I lied. We're doing a pop-up this weekend, so it's going to be 300. But
yeah, can you say what that's going to be?
It's a private event. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So through social media, right, you make a lot of connections.
Yes.
And somebody's hosting a Pilates class, and then after they're doing a vendor pop-up, they invited a couple people. So not the biggest event we've done, right? I don't think it's going to be huge, but Tori wants to support somebody, and so we're always here for it. Yeah.
Wait, do you have a limit? First of all, how many times a week do you cook?
We do two primarily. Yeah.
Okay, that's because of the rising times and stuff.
Yeah.
For sourdough, right?
So with this pop up, I don't get a day off this week. So I started prep Sunday night with making starter, prepped Monday, baked yesterday, goes into the case today. I'm prepping today to bake Thursday. We're going to do a Friday drop this week. Normally we do Saturday.
Okay.
And then I'm going to prep Friday, bake Saturday so we can do the pop-up Sunday.
Do you know how many you need ahead of time for that? I mean, are you just guessing?
Did
they say like, we got 50 people coming?
Yeah, they said they've sold 40 tickets already. They're anticipating 60 to 70. So we're going to make like probably 100 loaves, maybe 30 or 40 orders of cookies.
Dude, that just blows my mind. You know, seriously, I do it at home by myself, and I could continue to do it. And like I said, I do love to, but it is a lot of work. I know you don't do the whole covered thing like us homeowners do. Letting
Still
steam.
do.
You do?
Yeah.
You cover all your loaves?
Yeah.
Tell me that story. How is that possible? You know, like one of those nice ovens, which are, by the way, I saw a comment, and I do want you to talk about the ability to bake at home.
Yeah.
If you cover that. So, are you going to bake 200 loaves? Tell me how that works.
So we have a commercial oven.
Yeah.
But you need special ovens to cook sourdough.
Uh-huh. Because of the steam in some, right?
Yeah, you want a deck oven to hold the heat and then steam to help the bread rise and then create a crust after by releasing the steam.
Yeah.
At home, you just use a Dutch oven, right? And that helps trap the steam from the bread. So the commercial oven, they all vent, right? So they don't hold the steam. So when I first got it, I tried experimenting with it. I was like, we can't really make bread in here, really.
Wait, were you heartbroken? Were you like, I'm going to tear my hair? It doesn't work!
So we started doing the sandwich loaves, right?
Yep.
Those are made in a loaf pan. We cover them, and then they rise, and then we uncover, and they finish. Those were doing really well in there. So we had the ability to go from a regular home oven to this. It regulates temperature better, and we can make 16 sandwich loaves at a time in there.
Okay.
So it really helped build up like the amount we do. Artisan loaves are a little more tricky.
Yeah, go ahead, finish that.
All right. You know, they're harder because, you know, really important with the steam and everything like that. They have room to expand, so if you don't have... So we actually found covered roasting pans, and we can fit 8 of them in that oven, so we can bake 8 at a time.
Dang. Oh, I'm so in. You are listening to NH Unscripted. We are coming to you from the Dating Gang like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on those transistor radios, 101.9 FM for those beautiful souls of Manchester. Gary Sessa sourdough's in the house. 1 block to go. Kicking all my questions. We'll be right back. Welcome back to NH Unscripted. Yeah, baby, we got the rockin' pneumonia, the boogie woogie blues, you know it. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Listen, you up at 2, 3 in the morning having some of Gary's sourdough bread, packing on that beautiful grass-fed butter. Oh my God, I could just have a heart attack right here. Go out to NHTalkRadio.com. Check out our URL. You'll find so much going on out there. This show comes to you, by the way, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Mondays, we kind of twist it a little bit. Take you back to the 60s music. We have a Wayback Machine where we kind of troll through the 60s. And we had some different themes. I got a very interesting one coming up for next episode. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Wednesdays and Fridays, 9 a.m. Gary, what did I just ask you about? Your cottage industry kind of thing. I was on the Instagram account. Somebody squawking out there. How do you possibly cook in a house? I need inspection and all this stuff. Can you put that to rest?
Yeah, so the beautiful state of New Hampshire allows cottage law, right? Mm-hmm. So under that, you're allowed to make things that are not temperature regulated. So breads, cakes even. Mm-hmm. Only thing it really limits us to is like when we make sourdough cinnamon rolls, we can't use cream cheese in the frosting. Well, you got to regulate the temperature of cream cheese. So,
are you serious?
Yeah, that one's always on the forums. It's always a very question mark. But yeah, we're actually in the process of getting our full license because we've grown to a size where we're kind of exceeding the limits on the cottage law.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you just need to make sure that your ingredient labels are up to snuff. So you have to include everything on it, right? Weights, your telephone number, your address, and you have to label it as it is not licensed by the state of New Hampshire, just to make sure that people understand, that it is part of that cottage law and not fully licensed.
Yeah, I don't know why people do it. It's not like you're creating some kind of, like you're doing meth out there or something. It's bread. Come on, folks, get a life. So, do you envision in your head like a potential limit that you'll want to get to? I mean, right now people are coming to your house to get it, and you think you're gonna eventually have like a little store. I mean, where's the limit for Sessa?
Yeah, we've talked about the storefront.
Yeah.
We don't want to grow too big and have all these costs and everything and then have to raise the cost of everything. So we're trying to do things slow. Probably a storefront is definitely, we've started exploring it, talked to a couple places.
I mean, technically you're like the opposite of the way some of these little home businesses do. So a lot of them will create the product but then deliver it to the little farm stands around you in the little farmers markets. You're the opposite. You create it and then people come to you.
Yeah, I mean, it allows us to have a little bit more flexibility, right? So don't have to load things 3 and 4 times, and I don't have to pass cost off, because generally you're paying a percentage to whoever's taking that. And so if you're expecting to make X number of dollars from your efforts, you're raising your costs, and, so. Yeah. Plus, I think a lot of people just enjoy the experience of getting to pick it up from the shed. So many people film it, and so
a lot of people love it. The comments are filled with how beautiful your shed is. And it is typical New England, so quintessential New England there.
Yeah, we even had neighbors reach out to us who we've never met and who are like, "I love seeing your customers driving into the neighborhood. They look so happy." So
happy neighbors is a good thing.
Yeah.
Since this is the last block, give us one more time if folks can get your product. How they would find you. Yeah,
so Instagram, Sessa Sourdough. We use Hot Plate is the link we'll send you to. Through there, we always tell everybody sign up for text alerts. We drop menus generally 2 times a week. You need that text alert because you get a 2-minute warning before the menu drops.
No kidding.
If you're not on it in the first 30 seconds,
I went out. For folks who are asking, yes, I bought my 2 loaves, but I went out there and I wanted an artisan loaf. I couldn't get one.
Yeah, it's competitive. I always tell everybody, but there is a little trick. If you wait on the site and somebody doesn't check out, in 5 minutes it re-releases.
Oh, smart.
So on occasion, we'll see some people waiting, and it does sometimes pay off.
Ingredient-wise, what do you care about? I know we've talked about the King Arthur flour, but people, they get a little itchy about salt and some of this. How important to you are the ingredients that you're putting in there?
Well, my son's 10 months old now, right? He's eating our bread, so I always try and get the best ingredient I can. So sometimes I'm having to travel, right? If they don't sell it at the restaurant depot and I don't like what they have because they don't sell King Arthur all-purpose flour that we use for our cookies and scones and stuff, I go to Costco and I buy it in bulk there.
You do?
Yeah.
Salt, iodized, not iodized.
No, kosher. Yeah.
You.
Kosher salt is what you should be using anyway, because everything's done with weights in baking.
Yep.
And that iodized table salt is
I can feel it in my throat right now. Water-wise, do you purify your water, or what do you do with that?
Yeah, so we have a full purification system on our well. We get it tested, and we actually had to just get it tested again to confirm we were good for applying for the state license. So.
Interesting. I can't. You said you made 10 gallons of starter?
Yes.
Come on. All right, so I know my house. Where do you put 10 gallons of starter?
Yeah, so we finished our basement into about a 300 or 400 square foot bakery.
Oh, nice.
And, we got a commercial oven down there, full commercial sink now, prep tables, countertops, stuff like that. So, yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Got a couple commercial mixers down there as well. So,
Man, oh, man. You have help? Have you hired anybody yet?
yeah, my wife. Yeah, we're
Nice try.
Yeah, we're exploring it.
I know, because if you're expanding eventually, yeah, you're gonna need help at some point, right?
Yeah, I think our first goal is if we end up doing some farmers markets, we want somebody to run those for us. It's really hard when you have a baby to try and do those things in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably it. We have one of the neighborhood kids asked for a job, so we may hire her a couple hours a week to make some of the packaging for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So talk about that packaging. How important is that to you?
So it's very important.
Mm-hmm. In what way?
So it's your image, right? So we want clean packaging. We also want stuff that reflects on us, right? So the logos we make by hand, the ingredient labels, everything we've created them, print them on demand. But sometimes making packaging for 200 items, on a given bake day can take hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes my poor wife puts the baby to sleep and is over there doing it.
In tears.
We have those nights. Last night was not one of them. We kept it a little smaller this week with the pop-up coming. So, but yeah, no, we want people to have consistency, right? There's been times where we've given people the items for free because, hey, here's your money back. We don't like the way that the quality is on this item.
No.
Yeah, I mean.
No. Are you kidding me?
Well, nobody should pay for something and not get what they expect. So.
Alert. Integrity alert. Integrity alert. What the heck?
Well, you get a flat loaf of bread because it didn't rise the way you expected because it was a little hotter or whatever it may be. We're not going to take that out on the customer. So, yeah, of course.
Great. For folks who really don't know, sourdough is very, very susceptible to, like, a lot of different things. Humidity in the air, heat, cold. There's a lot of those variables that can really impact it. So how do you manage all those? Do you just kind of hope for the best?
Well, a little bit. Say a small prayer. Like even this week, right? So like with the temperatures going up and down, we didn't have the heat on in the house because it wasn't needed. And so in our basement, that affected the temperature down there. So it was actually cooler in the basement because there was no heat in the furnace room. So it took an extra 2 hours for the bread to rise. So I was up until midnight on Monday, getting it done.
It really is its own kind of thing, isn't it? It's alive, and it pays attention to its environment. I mean, you're not going to rush it. There's nothing about sourdough that you can rush at all.
You can't. Yeah. No. It's just it's kind of its own science experiment every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Gary Sessa from Sessa Sourdough. Where are you guys located?
Londonderry, New Hampshire.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. And how can people reach you again?
Sessa Sourdough on Instagram or Hot Plate.
Rolls off the tongue, baby. Go out. I'm telling you will not be disappointed. Find them. Find them. You are listening to NH Unscripted, and I know you're proud and happy. I know you are. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on the Sunday Walkmans, 101.9 FM for those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. We're coming to you from the YMCA Like Digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. Smell the pool glory all the way over here. All right. Gary, thank you so much for showing up today. Folks, we'll catch you on the next one. I got bread to go butter.
Thank you.